to London, where we've just heard that Westminster Bridge has reopened after yesterday's terror attack. 8 people have been arrested in connection with the investigation, which has been claimed by IS. The Islamic attack left 4 people dead, including the attacker, and more than 40 injured, including one Irish citizen. 7 of the injured are still in hospital in a critical condition, and British Prime Minister Theresa May said the man who carried out the attack was not part of the current intelligence picture.
I can confirm that overnight the police have searched 6 addresses and made 8 arrests in Birmingham and London. Mr. Speaker, it is still believed that this attacker acted alone, and the police have no reason to believe there are imminent further attacks on the public. His identity is known to the police and MI5, and when operational considerations allow, he will be publicly identified. What I can confirm is that the man was British-born, and that some years ago he was once investigated by MI5 in relation to concerns about violent extremism. He was a peripheral figure.
A peripheral figure, said British Prime Minister Theresa May in the House of Commons this morning. On the line now is Olivier Guita, Managing Director at Global Strat International Security and Geopolitical Risk Consultancy. We know an apartment in Birmingham has been raided, Olivier. Is there a Birmingham connection to the Brussels and Paris attacks going on here, do you think?
Look, at the time of the Paris and Brussels attack, there was indeed a trip made by Abaoud, the main ringleader, into the UK to basically get a little funding. But what I would answer is that I don't think it's a lone wolf attack. I think that the fact that those people were arrested so quickly tells me that intelligence was there, that his connections were there to be found. And also, in all the cases of jihadist attacks in Europe in the past 2 years, none of the so-called lone wolves were actually lone wolves. They all had a supporting network. And I suspect this will be the case again this time around.
And this morning we hear that this terror attack has been claimed by IS. The fact that it was so low tech, does that suggest if there was some kind of cell at work here that they certainly weren't as well organised as, for instance, the 7-7 cell with their explosives and weaponry?
Yes, indeed. So the problem is that you have had, since December 2015, major focus from Islamic State into the UK after Parliament voted for intervention in Syria. And that was the time when you had all those videos pushing followers of Islamic State in the UK to attack the homeland rather than going to Syria and Iraq. And unfortunately, that spelled trouble already there.
All right, Olivier, thank you very much indeed for joining us this lunchtime. That's Olivier Guita, Managing Director at Global Strat International Security and Geopolitical Risk Consultancy.